Hello, everyone. My name is Reynaldo Mireles. I'm the Director of Elder Services at the Center on Colfax, and I am joined today. I am honored to be with Miguel and with Karina. The two,
Hello.
the two of them are going to be speaking about our Day of the Dead celebration and what it means to them as part of the LGBTQ community. As some of you know, we have been celebrating the Day of the Dead at the Center on Colfax for more than 6 years. And we have been doing that with the help of community members. So that way we can create altars at the center. It is a nice art exhibit. There is one right now that you can see on at the center, but through the glass. Of course, during COVID, people are not able to enter the building. But if you drive by there in the evening time, you will be able to see the beautiful altars that we have created honoring our LGBTQ community. And so with that, I want to welcome Miguel and Karina. And I'll start this question with Karina. If you can just tell us a little bit more about where you're originally from.
Hi, Ronaldo. Thank you for having me. Yes, of course. My name is Karina, and I am from Parral, Chihuahua, Mexico. That's a little town in the south of Chihuahua, and I have been living here in Colorado for about a little over 10 years.
All right, very good. And Miguel?
Hi, my name is Miguel. Thank you, everybody. And I'm from Guadalajara, Mexico, and I have been living here for a year in Denver. And that is for me a great opportunity to be here with everybody.
Well, thank you so much to both of you. You know, the Dia de los Muertos is a festive celebration, celebrated not just in Mexico, but all over the world. People have taken on this celebration as we honor other people. You know, it's a celebration of life. For many, it's a time to honor our loved ones, as I mentioned. And so I just want to take a moment just to ask you, Miguel, and I'll start with you with this question. Tell us a little bit about the traditions that you have in your home country.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a big celebration because we remember the people who lives who dead people who finish and in this terrenal land. But now with this celebration, with this date, we remember of that people who loves in this life, no? And this is a memory to to take these people and we are celebrated in different ways in different states of Mexico. In my city, in Guadalajara, we celebrate with visit a cemetery, uh, visiting the cemetery, and um, we in the cemetery. Sometimes we prayed for that person who love it, and sometimes we take a music, or sometimes we celebrate with other things. Even the family sometimes there eat in that part of the cemetery, and that's something really familiar. Uh, that celebration is all the parents and sisters and brothers, cousins. It's a big celebration.
For sure. Yes, and of course, food is so important, of course, to be bringing to those that are at the cemetery, our loved ones. Karina, it's the same thing for you and your country and how you celebrate?
Yes, yes, definitely. Going to the cemetery, it's obviously a tradition, a big tradition for us. Um, and is for some people that is not familiar with this celebration, that is not from Mexico, or they're not have a lot of knowledge of this, it's kind of weird, right? That we celebrate death with so much joy. And I think the fact that we celebrate it is because I think that we see it as a day that we can get to those loved ones that they're not ready, they're not even here anymore, and that's the day that we can break through that border and be able to be with them, or them being able to be with us for just that one day. So that's why we're so happy, and that's why we all go to the cemetery and we celebrate it. We have live music and we eat and we get together with the family. So it's a great, great celebration for us.
Is there one that is something that stayed in your mind of that very special one that you might have celebrated in years past?
Definitely, yeah. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say this is a good thing. I don't have a lot of loved ones that I have to go visit at the cemetery at this time. Thank God. But I do have my grandma and my two grandmas from my both my mom and my dad, and they're in different cemeteries in the same city, but different cemeteries. So that's kind of like a tradition for us to go visit one, take flowers and clean their crib and everything, and then go to the next one. And it's just like walking and just being there and remembering and just like telling stories about their lives and memories that we had with them when they were alive, that bring us so much joy to our hearts.
Mm.
Yeah, that is some kind of a ritual, when we all the family go to the cemetery and decorate the crypt with all the flowers, different colors, white, red, purple, all orange, special for this is the flower, a special flower in this day is the cempasúchil. Is orange, but this color orange um, means happy. This is the color of the happy, and we want to celebrate with this our family in this time in this day in the cemetery with this kind of flowers because it's really special, the cempasúchil flower. So, well, it's a special a ritual, and we put in all the crypt in that day with all the family, collaborate with this decoration in the crypt. And after that, we can talk about our time in that with that person who love it, and we talked with the all family. Sometimes between cousins and sisters, brothers, and after that, we sometimes people in my city they start to eat something like uh, I don't know, carne asada sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that is really great. That is really special for all of special in my city, in Guadalajara, and I think in all Mexico. But in different states, they celebrate in different ways in that day.
Yes, I think I remember somewhere where someone said that they have a tradition, probably further south, Mexico and Central America. Maybe there was a tradition where people will even take the bones out of the burial site and clean the bones as well, and then
Yeah,
come back. Is that correct?
yeah. In Yucatan and Campeche, that the states, the family clean the bones of the family and with in the crypt, clean all, and return that bones to the box and to the crypt too. So that is really that is a big ritual, and they celebrate in that way in that part of Mexico.
For that, it sounds very interesting to what we ourselves here in the United States, well, certainly we can't do that, right? It's not permitted. But yes, visiting the cemetery for our loved ones is very important. And of course, it all depends on the burial site. Some people are able to put flowers, others are not. So it all depends. But the that you were talking about, especially the cempasúchil, the marigold, as we call it here, it's very, has a nice fragrance to it, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
I really appreciate it as well because it grows a lot during this time of the year.
yeah. There's it's a fragrance, a special fragrance, and that with that floor, and it's really traditional to use that floor for the smell for perfume all the crypt in that
Yeah,
space.
for sure. So it sounds like for both of you, it's something very traditional. And I take it that you also remember this tradition growing up as a youngster, as a child, to actually do that. Were you ever afraid to go visit the cemeteries?
I don't think so. I think for me, in my case, I always enjoy it a lot. I enjoy getting together with the family, and that was a great excuse to do it. And as soon as you get closer to the cemetery, you can start smelling like the flowers, the food. You can hear the music. There's so many people, like unbelievably. You can't even walk through the aisles. I mean, it's so many people walking and having the celebration and everything that I really, really, really enjoyed it. And another part that I enjoyed a lot, as I was little, is the food. I mean, because my parents used to buy us all these traditional foods that they were selling in little corners, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, I remember those times very, very good, and I do keep it in my heart in a very good way. I loved it.
Was the experience the same for you, Miguel?
Oh yeah, it's the same. It's just a festivity with the family, and it's all the family. It's they have a great meeting in that day, celebrating in the cemetery.
For sure. And I'm sure that, as I mentioned, those traditions sometimes can get lost when people come to the United States or when they migrate to another country. Do you yourselves continue this tradition of honoring your loved ones in any way? And if so, what do you do? Karina?
Well, when I don't, I usually like to go back to Mexico for this time of the year. I like being there, but when I don't have the opportunity to be there because of work or any other reason, to be honest, it's not the same. I mean, I do have that emotional memories, and it become kind of a little sad and emotional for me for those days when I'm not there. But because when you're there, it's just party. But when you're not there, you're just missing that little part. I don't have anybody to visit here in the cemetery. I don't have a lot of friends that celebrates this, and they don't keep this tradition as I have it. So yeah, when I'm here, to be honest, I really don't. I don't celebrate it as much,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, in my case, well, we are here with the family, with my sisters. We are uh, prepared to Altar de Muertos,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the way to celebrate that day here in Denver. So we put the pictures of my grandmother, or pictures of, or even my dogs, my dead dogs. Sometimes I put the pictures. So well, we celebrate here in Denver with my sister and with the Altar de Muertos, and that is the way to remember all that loved people who's someday make a great family, make a feel good when they are live it.
Yeah, for sure. And there's all kinds of things that you can put on the altars. And Miguel, before this recording, you were sharing something with us that you might be putting on your altar. I'm not sure. Do you mind sharing what you have made and tell us a little bit more about what you have?
Okay. Well, in the altar de muertos, we put first the flowers is the important for us, And then we put calaveritas and Katrina.
Uh,
Katrina is important because she is the symbol of that day, the Dia de Muertos,
uh-huh.
Katrina, and put it food, that food, a special food, because the people who's is that and that moment they like it, that kind of food. So we put for my grandmother loved the orange, so I put orange in the altar. And beer, she loved the beer. And mole, she loved the mole. And what uh, mole, candies, Mexican candies. And we tostadas. The tostadas is other kind of food. So, and for my dogs, I put it the toys of my dogs, and I put in the uh, food like ham. My last dog love ham, so I put ham in that altar, and that is the the decoration of the day for my altar there.
Thank you, Miguel. That's very good to share because I do remember when I had put the altar at the center, I also put a picture of my tias, and it just makes me feel very happy when I see all my tias who have passed away. And uh, in that picture, one of them was not fallecida. She was not deceased at that time, but she did pass away this year. And now it just brings me even more sorrow, but also a happiness because in the picture, everybody is laughing with their mouths wide open and they're just laughing. I just know somebody probably said a joke and everybody started laughing and they clicked the picture. So those are always good memories. I'm wondering if I can start with Karina and then Miguel. This question's about, do you have a story or a memory that you like to share about the Dia de los Muertos? I know, Karina, you said that you don't have anyone, that has passed away, but I'm sure you've attended maybe a funeral or two, maybe not.
Well, I do have my grandmas, but I was very little when that happened. So I do remember them with a lot of joy, but not to be honest, not sadness, and I don't have a lot of memories of them. But when a memory that I have about Dia de Muertos is that over there in Mexico, we celebrated in school, we celebrated outside school, so it's a big celebration. And when I was in elementary, I think I was like probably 8 years old. There was a contest of calaveritas. Calaveritas is kind of like a fun poem that makes fun of death, but of live people, living people. And we just make fun of how you're gonna die. And I know it sounds a little bizarre, but it's really funny. And I was about 8 years old and I won that contest. So I was very proud, and all my family was very proud because I made a calaverita for each one of the members of my family. And since then, I do keep that tradition. So every year, I have to make a calaverita for each one of the members of my family. And if I don't do it, like around this time of the year, they're still calling me like, "Hey, what's going on with that calaverita? I'm still waiting." And it's kind of hard because um, every year I get a little bit more busy, like a little busier. And of course, my family keeps on growing and it's really hard to keep up. But I try my best. I usually start like at the beginning of the month. And that's something that I keep on doing. And I hope I can continue with it for a long time.
Yeah, very good. Miguel, do you
Yeah,
have a story or memory that you'd like to share?
yeah, of course. Well, I remember when one day we preparing this altar, and all the calaveritas well, the traditional calaveritas are made to sugar or chocolate. Sometimes it's depend, you know. So well, we prepare all this altar in my house, and we finish beautiful altar, the Muertos. But uh, we put in this altar outside of the house. I mean, in the garage. You know, we put this altar in that place, and the next day we suffer an incident with the ant because all the ants eat the calaveritas, chocolates and sugar calaveritas disappear. So for the ants, yeah, that was a difficult experience, but well, that happened me to my family. So after that, all the altars we put in inside the house, you know, because with that experience we can't uh, we can put the altar outside the house. So well, that happened as in that experience. But and especially with the calaveritas, you can put the name of the person who love it. I mean, you can put in the calaverita Miguel and the name of the other person who love it, maybe and grandma or sisters, or everybody has a calaverita in the altar with your name. So we in this way to express this is not the end for the person when leave it. So no, it's continue with that person celebrating after this life and the other life. So it's a communication, it's a bridge. We build a bridge with that day, celebrating that person's in the other the other sides. So and we want to explain with these calaveritas, we all everybody we're gonna die someday. We don't know what day, but we're gonna die. But we're gonna die celebrating and continue with the other universe or with the other life, with the persons who love it. So it's important. The calaveritas is something like a ticket or something like a uh-huh, to go to the other side of the bridge. So it's really, really good.
Did you mean a key, like key to the other place?
Yeah, key to the other place.
Yes, una llave, for sure.
Una llave. Yeah.
See, um, let's say for this as we close, if there was a special food that you would want your loved ones to remember you by, what would that be? What would you want them to make sure that they put on your altar? Miguel.
Well, for my altar,
When that day
well,
comes, if they say, ya Miguel ya falleció, Miguel is
okay,
already long gone, what would you want them to make sure that they put on your altar? What would be that special food or drink?
okay. Well, first the food. I love the carne en su jugo. It's a special food in my city, carne en su jugo. So well, I really want that dish. And for drink, I love beer. Yeah, it's my I love the beer. And the fruit for me is apple. The fruit I love the apple and candies, and my dogs. Really, I love the dogs. So I really want to a little I don't know what is the name, but a little dogs to toys and in my altar because I love the dogs and water. For me, water too. It's important to drink water every day.
Very good. I love it. Karina.
For me, well, of course, I'm gonna need my pipián, which is some kind of a mole. So I like pipián and with quesadillas, that cannot be missed. With cheese from my hometown, please. And to drink, paloma. I don't know if you're familiar with paloma. Is some kind of a tequila with lime squared and salt. And that's, I mean, you put that, and I for sure gonna come back and eat it. I promise you.
I love it. I love it. I know that it sounds like what people would consider morbid, ¿verdad? De estar hablando de la muerte, to be talking about the muerte and everything. But even for myself, I think, gosh, I have to laugh. You would put anything on my altar and I would be fine with that. Dicen that I'm always eating. So my family would probably say, what do we put on there? It says, there's not enough room on his altar. Porque siempre quiere comer. He was always eating. So I don't think it would matter. Of course, I would probably put, you know, kitty cats, just like Miguel putting a little dog. I would probably put little
Yeah.
kitty cats on my altar. And you would go, you would make me happy if it was a cervecita, no matter what it was. A little cerveza, something to actually put on my altar would make me happy. I do appreciate you all. It's a good way to approach, like when we look at death to be a joyous occasion. And I just want to thank you both for taking the time to share your story as part of the LGBT community. Gracias a los dos. Thank you so much, Miguel and Karina.
Thank you for having us, Reynaldo.
Thank you, Cari. Thank you, Reynaldo.
For sure. Thank you so much.